Hi, this is Dan here. I hope you're doing really well. I got a really good question from a subscriber about, he's in a garage band and sometimes the guitarist will just play really simple power chord stuff and he sort of doesn't know what to do beyond playing roots. So I'm going to assume the role of a guitarist today and just make up a few things and show you what you need to know. So let's say play something like that. A power chord, by the way, is Stanley Clarke, Mark King, who's very influenced by Stanley Clarke. They would play that. Literally just a root and a fifth together. You just play a root and go two across, one down, you find the fifth. You can add an octave as well. It's quite a cool thing to do on bass. Okay, so your first thing to do is that you need to know a major scale. That's a major scale, and that tells us what key we're in. Okay, the key is the scale or scales being used. So I'm going to keep this very simple, garage band, you know, very simple sort of pop rock sort of thing, but obviously there are other styles of music. First thing to do is to locate the home of this, and I'm thinking it's that note. Okay, that's B flat, so we're in the key of B flat major. First note was B flat. We went to the fifth of the chord. You need to learn the sound of the scale. Without your bass there, you need to know the sound of it in your head. So hum this, sing this as you're walking down the street so you know. I'll spare you my terrible singing voice, but just learn that as you go. Because you can hear. You can hear where we're going. So we're going from the first chord to the fifth chord, actually. You hear it goes up. So that's going from the fifth to the sixth chord. And it's going down, but a little bit further down than the previous chord. Now, if you know the sound of the scale in your head, this is absolutely crucial. You can hear what's going on. So we're going basically 1, 5, 6, 4. And musicians will say that. I don't know if many people in garage bands would say like that's a 1, 5, 6, 4 chord progression, but if they did, it's really easy for everyone to know what's going on there. So let's say you wanted to figure out something. That was the question. Beyond roots. So of course you go. And if it was sort of punk rock, Blink-182, Green Day style, that's pretty much perfect. But this is the point that I want to get across in this video, is that if you know the underlying triads and arpeggios, you can go a lot further. Let's start really, really simple, and I'll stick with that one example. Stick with that. So fifth. Again, that fifth pattern is where you find your root note, go 2 across, 1 string down. That's a fifth, which is the power chord, isn't it? Those notes will sound very basic, but that's something you can do. What about octave? Really easy. Okay, little bit more. Each note of a major scale has a triad that's built over it, okay? So we need to know that, basically. And I'm going to do this in the key of B flat, but this works in any single major key you care to talk about. So we start off with a major triad. I'll do the arpeggio, which is it's basically the first, third, fifth, and eighth notes of. That's the scale. Play the 1, 3, 5, 8, and you get an arpeggio. You need to know this, what an arpeggio is, triads, all that kind of thing. Okay. If I jump to the 5 chord, which was the second chord in, great news, it's exactly the same pattern as the first one, major. So we go B flat to F major. Now this next chord is not the same, it's a minor, which is actually exactly the same. We just drop our third down a fret, it's a flat third. And the fourth is the same as the 1 and the 5 as well. And this is the kind of key and the how music is made. If you're in a major key, 1, 4, and 5 are all major. That's just a fact. That's just the way it is. So now you can go... sorry, that's wrong. See, now we're building up a level of complexity above just root notes. But I have to know... I got the chord progression wrong there, by the way. But I have to know, well, the underlying chord progression, but also the triads that and the arpeggio that fit. If I know that, I'm absolutely going to do well. And I can use the notes of the scale in conjunction with that, of course. So... that's the triad. I also know the notes of the scale. So I can lead to the next chord. That's what you want, really. You want to draw the listener's ear to where you're going. You can be melodic by playing notes of the scale. Okay, in this sort of style I'm playing, don't forget your major pentatonic. Just sounds really melodic. That was just all pentatonic stuff I was doing. It just always works, always fits. I said exactly the same thing in the last video I did, which is that there are no secrets, there are no hacks to bass playing. But I think this is something that is almost that, okay? It's this. Learn this pattern off by heart. So I'm rearranging the... I might play a major scale like this. Playing it like this now. Those Roman numerals refer to those chords I was talking about earlier. Lowercase is minor, uppercase is major. So whenever you see a lowercase one, it's a minor triad. Or. There are different ways of playing them, same notes. And major. Okay, so you need to know them in different positions. But the trick is to memorize that shape. I'm literally just randomly going to those different root notes and playing whatever the triad is. I was doing triads, nothing more complicated than that. You can make this sound jazz if you put sevenths in. I'm probably not going to go there right now. Maybe I will, but I'll keep it really, really simple for now. So let's do another chord progression. Let's do... minor, major, major. There's only sort of one place that happens in the sequence, and it's 6, 5, 4. That's the only place that happens. So to recap where we are right now, you've got a major scale. Know that that has a relative minor, which is just found on the 6th degree of that scale. Be able to sing both of those scales away from the bass. Know what a triad is. Know what an arpeggio is. You can do a major 7th. The 1 and the 4 chords both are the same, major 7th. That's why those same patterns work on each of those. So if you hear a guitarist going... you can do a bass line based on that. You know, what's the tempo, what's the vibe, what's the style, what's everyone doing? You're going to have to react to all of those other things accordingly. And that's why you listen to different styles of music, you learn the sort of theory stuff I'm doing. And that's how it works. One more example. Let's say the guitarist, when the same key, is doing this. Okay, so you're hearing we're in the key of B flat. And you figure out that it's the 1, the 5 to the 4. That's what's going on there, right? So how to embellish that a bit. I mean, there's a million things you can do, but they're all major chords. Right, so there I'm just going... I'm using a major pentatonic scale. It works on all major chords. And since they're all the same quality of chord, i.e. major, you can use that same shape. Which in this case I'm going fret 6, 8, 10 on the E, and then 8, 10 on the A. Learn that shape. I mean, within that we've got a triad. We've also got the second of the scale. I mean, you don't really need to be that analytical about it. Just learn the shape, learn the sound of it. A little bit at the end, going back to that pentatonic. Great for fills. Which happen commonly towards the end of the phrases. So I know this is a bit of a random sort of scattergun approach here. It was just to answer that question. But you have to know the key. Ideally, you know your relative minor. You have to know the notes within the scale and what triads and arpeggios lie under that. Not every song you ever play is going to fit to this, by the way, but it's a good place to start. You obviously have modes, you have other things. You have songs that go like, you know... all within one key. That move to a different key. So if that sort of happens, it's obviously a level of complexity above what I'm talking about in this video. And you just sort of don't worry if you don't know why something's happening. You know, I like to explain the whys in this video, but in these lessons I do, because you come up against them time and time again. But just go with your ear. Just you know, try your best. If it's the sort of garage band situation, you know, you can always ask what chord are you playing, but if you can relate it to a key, it's going to make your life easier. That's what I did, by the way. It's that thing the Beatles do a lot, going basically to a parallel minor, borrowing some chords from that, and it's something you hear a lot. So I'm not going to go into that in this lesson, but push yourself, learn more songs, learn different styles, and try and relate it to the kind of things I'm talking about. Thanks very much for watching. If you've got any questions, let me know. See you on the next video.